Joy and Brianna, welcome. Brianna, yes, I would enjoy seeing a magic trick. What you got? Also, everyone, how is your day going so far? Any fun adventures to report? I've got some silly stories, as per usual. But obviously, I want to hear from you guys first. Think of a number between 1 and 10, but don't tell you. Alright, Brianna, I've thought of my number. What is the next stage of your magic trick? Tarpinian Productions! Welcome, brother. How is your ranch going, man? Alright, Brianna. I've got my, Alright, you get 2 tries. Cool. No, it is not 2. What is your second try, Brianna? Will you get it right on the second attempt? I am now curious. Because to be fair, if your magic trick is based on statistical probabilities, I'm aware of these probabilities. And so to help you out before you make the second guess, I chose my number accordingly. I know how those mind games work, but I'm still... Nope, not 7. But you're right. Statistically speaking, 2 and 7 are 2 of the higher numbers. That being said, I purposely chose 6. I know how these things work. Oh no, yeah, I agree. It's a great trick. It's just like all magic tricks. Once you know how these illusions work, and considering how they're based, it's not that hard to figure out a way around them. Donkey Kong Bear, welcome. Brianna just tried to trick me with wizardry, and I saw past her grabblerness. No, just kidding. I knew how the trick worked. That's it. But like, that's one crazy thing that so like most like magic, like David Blaine or whatever the hell his name is, like the super famous like Las Vegas dude. Like most of these are just illusions. That being said, there are a significant proportion of these like elements of magic that are spiritually based. Turns out I've got some experience with those things, and so even when you're trying to do those kinds of illusions, it's like, oh, I know where you're coming from. Thus I can deflate your tire before you run me the fuck over. And so, like how Owen is really, like, way better than I am at just, like, unraveling, social spells as they go down. I have other skills. It's great. And that's how the bear community works, is we all pool our skills together to assist the other bears. It's wonderful. But also, side note, like, we all know how fucking insanely strong Owen is on a variety of levels. And so, in one of his recent streams, he was talking about how, Baho Bear, welcome. He was talking about how he made this point multiple times. He was like, oh, I give away over half my 11s every month, like blah, blah, blah. And that's not normal Owen. Which means he's been triggered to a very, very significant degree. And one point, I guess, as evidence, is his apology towards the Catholics. Not that he made the apology, of course. I agree, he went a little bit too hard and made it a little bit too personal, even though I thought it was absolutely hilarious and I was dying laughing the whole time. Like, I get where he's coming from, the basis of his apology, I understand it. That being said, I think that it wasn't just the childhood memories, that there was a half my 11. Bajo, what do you speak of, brother? I think that there was a deeper level of emotional trigger. And I find that interesting because I've never seen that to this degree with Owen before. Like, I enjoy, as I'm watching Owen's streams, whenever he's about to make a big point, I push pause and I try and guess what point he's about to make. Or I psychoanalyze the shit out of Owen because I think he's way smarter than I am. He's got way more life experience. He's older, and I find it really interesting because, especially towards the beginning, like when I first started watching him, it was like before the Flat Earth thing, and in Oswego, New York, and so all these various things that I've been learning about, he was just systematically going through them. And when I first got exposed to his podcast, I was like, oh, I should make my own podcast. I should do this too. But I just wasn't in the right heart space. And so as I've seen Owen go over these things just so genuinely over the years, it's like, darn, the grabbler in me is like, I could have made a video and said the same things. I knew that. But it's like, no, Owen did that in such a hilarious way. And I really appreciate all of his ups and downs. That being said, honestly, we're probably never going to know the answer to this because, Owen's a man. But I think that somehow he was very specifically triggered because normally, even though he's very transparent with finances, he doesn't ever get specific in the way that he did over the past couple of streams. Yes, last night was beautiful. We are all growing at different speeds, and we all have different talents. We are all unique. What's great about BB is that he's so honest and shows us his growth so beautiful. Oh, yeah. Donkey Kong Bear. I completely agree. And the whole point of, what the hell I was just saying is to emphasize what you were just saying, to validate Big Bear and all of his talents and skills and his strength that God has given him. That being said, is like, whoa, I've never seen that before. And that was just curious to me. But today I went knocking on doors as a volunteer for the Arizona Republican Party. I was a volunteer. And most of the people I talked to were Democrats, and it was really funny because every single time Donkey Kong Bear, I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure, I appreciate that. I think he's smarter than me, and more experienced in a variety of ways. But yes, I appreciate your opinion. And so the majority of the people that I was talking to today, they were all hardcore Democrats. And I can't tell you how many times I was I rang the doorbell and knocked on the door or whatever, and they would answer the door. Good morning, my name is PJ, I'm with the Arizona Republican Party. Door slam. And I was like, great. And then I just got to my little phone, opened up the little poll app that the reason why I'm volunteering, and I was like, boop, 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 boop. And it was just really cool for me today because I experienced a very high level of emotional rejection. And I was like, alright, whatever, you do you, bro. I hope for the best. And there's a lot of people that I was depending on how significant their rejection was of just me like introducing myself, basically. There's a lot of people that I prayed for. I was like, yeah, it was really enjoyable, Donkey Kong Bear. Like, to be honest though, like, because of the high level of emotional rejection I was receiving today, a lot of the times I was like, please let nobody answer the door. But then when they would answer the door and then slam it in my face before cursing at me, or after cursing at me, I'd just be like, alright. And it was weird because I was really not looking forward to the negative reactions I knew I was about to get. So like when I would pull up an address on this little app thing, it would give me all the voters and what their historic like voting patterns were. So like when I was about to go to a Democrat-dominated household, I was like, God, please don't let them answer. But if they do, please let me not like be peaceful and like not like freak out. And so like whenever like I talked to the Democrats, it was, other than their violent reactions, it wasn't too bad. And every time that I saw that God was restraining me, I was like, thanks, God. You just did me another solid. Oh, yeah, in addition to allowing me to walk. And in addition to allow me to breathe. And all, every other function that my body requires. But in addition to all that standard stuff, thanks, God, for making this for allowing this Democrat to not completely freak out on me. Like, I think, like, so, if you guys don't know, I spent 9 months as a cripple. And, like, I've mentioned it on the stream before, but since the Lord had the whole crazy story where the Lord cured me, like, completely healed and fixed me, like, it's like, that, like, straight New Testament miracle kind of shit. When that first happened, every single step I would take, it was like, thank you, Lord God. Thank you, Father God. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Like, just thank you, thank you, thank you. With literally, internally, I'd be saying that wherever I took a step. And you should let us know when you got out so we can pray for you and shoot. Ooh, yeah, DK, that's a good idea. Crippled how? I will let you know in a second. And what I find interesting is when I read through the Old Testament, I'm always just like, Israelites, why? Courage Bear, welcome, welcome. Also, everybody, if you didn't expect me to just yell, I apologize if that like fucked that up or some shit. But it's just like, and the king so-and-so followed in the footsteps of his forefathers, and he sinned in just the same way, and shit went downhill real quick. And then, like, every once in a while, like, that's most of the Hebrew kings. And then, like, every once in a while, you get a king that's like, he didn't completely fuck up. And then God responded by blessing, like, Israel greatly. Like, I know I'm making a joke, but that's in my, like, when I read through the Old Testament, that's what I just think. At time, like, every single king, like, especially through the Judges period, where it's like this fucking legend God blessed the people with as a judge for, like, that generation, and they saved the people, like Gideon, Samson, like, etc., etc., like, Ezra, even, and but it's like every single time, as soon as they're gone, then the Israelites are like, it's time to fuck up again? Yeah, let's fuck up again. But similarly, that applies exactly to my own life. Cameron guy offended. One of my buddies just, no one cares. And it applies to our own life in so many ways, because there are so many habitual sins that we all have where we know it's wrong, but for whatever reason, we either justify it to ourselves or we just kind of go on. And it's one of the many reasons why I enjoy the Old Testament so much, because on a daily basis, we fuck up just as much as the Israelites did. And because of the Old Testament, we have a hundreds of year old history of God being like, alright, you fucked up again. It's okay. I got your back. Let me perform some miracles, save your nation real quick, and let's get back on track. But Donkey Kong, I was crippled because, spiritually speaking, what's called a band of warring demons. In the spiritual realms, it's basically like a demonic hit squad. You're right, but recognizing is half the battle to do better. Exactly. So a band of warring demons is basically like a satanic hit squad. And so at the beginning of my ailment, what I literally, I'll never forget this. That it was a Monday when this happened. Monday morning, National Chess Day, obviously. I did like my beginning, like first workout after my warm-up sets was flat bench press, and I did 3 sets of 10 at 225 pounds. Like, I'm really proud of like at the time I was really proud of that, and now like getting back into working out, it's like your greatest strength is your greatest weakness. And so I used to be so strong, and now I'm such a weak little girl. Oh, how dare me! But by the end of that day, I was at my night shift working at a restaurant, and there was a pain that built up in my lower back that eventually extended throughout the entirety of my back, through all my joints and everything. And I lost 35 pounds of muscle over 9 months. And like by the end of that day, I literally couldn't in the morning, woke up, rah, 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 super strong. And then by the end of the day, I couldn't carry an armful of plates, and I had to go home sick because I was in so much pain that day. And then that pain only escalated. And after 6 months of the VA not giving me any medical treatment, eventually I took a wheelchair up to the top level where all the executives were, and basically I just yelled at people until I got service. Because it was all the whole VA hospital is all super chaotic and hospital-y, but then the very, very top level, the 6th floor, is all business executives, very quiet, professional. And once I learned that's where all the special boys were, I was like, bet, I need service. And so I rolled myself to the elevator, went to the top floor, saw the secretary, and after she couldn't help me, I made some shit go down. NWA Bear, welcome, welcome, welcome. War Bear, welcome, brother. Instagram didn't tell me we had 2 more legends in the chat. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah, Courage Bear knows. The VA is super gay. So I had 6 months with no treatment, and then in the 7th month I got on the list, and then in the 9th month I finally started to get treatment, and I had like 30 or 40 or some insane amount of medical appointments in the month of January. I think it was 2016, 2017-ish. And it was to the point where I had 3, 4, 5 medical appointments a week. It was absurd. And so after I went through all of that, and all the docs, they found nothing physically wrong with me. And then we moved into the next month, V-Gay, yes, February. And there was several occasions where whatever I was doing, I felt this, I couldn't physically see anything, but I physically felt, or spiritually felt, or whatever, however you want to describe it, I felt this black mass just undulating around my heart, the blackest of darkness. And I was it reminded me of a previous demonic experience I'd had when I was in high school. And then when I felt this after I felt this black cloud thing around my heart, within seconds of me perceiving it, or oh shit, what is this, within seconds of me experiencing it, I would fall to the ground, and I would be in so much pain. I would be just writhing on the ground, and I would try and scream, but I would, like, because I was in so much pain, I literally couldn't scream. Just, like, little squeaks came out. And after I'd spent a month of, like, all the medical tests in the world, and everyone was like, oh, there's nothing physically wrong with you. After literally being crippled for months and months and losing, like, tons of pounds, and, like, all my muscles going away. And then this crazy thing, I was like, oh, shit. This is spiritual, isn't it? And that's what red pilled me. And so, literally, the second time it happened, that's when I realized, oh shit, this is spiritual. And so, then I spent the next 24-ish hours watching various videos just to begin to build a foundation on what the fuck is going on. And, ever since then, I haven't been as much of a retard as I used to be. Which is, of course, made me lose friends, because I was unable to be humble in expressing this new level of knowledge. It was like, why are you so retarded? For a long time. And that burned a lot of bridges. NWA Bear, yes, hilarious. Donkey Kong, oh, like, praise God for him doing what he did. Like, the fact that my stupid ass was, like, bent the knee in one or two ways of 1,000 more ways I could have, God blessed me. Like, give all the praise to God. Like, I'm literally right now, I'm drinking poison called alcohol. I'm smoking fucking cancer sticks. And, I mean, there is an argument that marijuana is good for you. That being said, I am very open in recognizing that the way that I use it is not a healthy way. I use it as something to inebriate myself and slow down my mental processes, because existing in this kind of, like, 2020 world, just second by second, is quite frustrating for me. War Bear, cheers, mate. But that being said, I know that's a mental crutch that I've been trying to work through for the past couple of months. Is I've got tons of great ideas for a variety of different things. I'm having a whiskey myself. Cheers, beers. Yeah, NWA Bear. Nice, brother. We can do a regular cheers. Donkey Kong, cheers, cheers. Everyone's cheering. Oh my goodness. My black friend's making hilarious assumptions. So, like, I just see, I recently made oh, and apparently now I'm irrational. Yes! So, we all know the bike thief joke. And so I made a comment that was kind of based on that to my buddy. And he's just, like, being triggered to losing his mind right now, because my statement was entirely factual. And so I just see him, like, every couple of minutes he adds another, like, message to the DM. It's really funny. He's one of my best friends from high school, like one of the last best friends from high school I have left. And so, so he went to a super liberal school and got brainwashed because he studied philosophy. And turns out one of his like most favorite, like his favorite professor, basically one of them, is like a super commie and just a complete nigger. And so I remember a couple months ago he called me to get my thoughts, and like this guy was the first. I don't even remember his name, but it was like he mentioned this dude, and I was like, he wanted me to look him up. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll look him up. Like, you guys know I look shit up all the time. And so I looked up his Wikipedia, and I just started reading it without even looking at his picture. I was like, my initial honest reaction, without ever seeing a picture of this guy, just reading the beginnings of his Wikipedia, I was like, that fucking nigger! And then my buddy Cameron, who's half black, or I think he's actually full black, just very light-skinned, Yeah, full black. I've met her parents. Both black. Yeah, he's super black. And so then he started getting super offended. Scuzzy Wombat, welcome, welcome. And as he got super offended, that's when I looked at the picture and I was like, oh, it's a black dude. I get what you're saying, but then we had an hour-long conversation that was a complete tangent on, like, bro, I didn't call him a nigger because he's black. It's because I hate his ideas, and, like, everything he stands for is antithetical to everything, like, I believe in. It just so happens that, like, he's also black. Well, he's also a communist. He's also a lot of other things. Never go full black. Courage Bear. And then, ironically, right after that hour-long tangent, we had another, like, hour or two conversation about Jesus Christ and the Bible and stuff. And it's really fun because, like, even, like, he's a victim of brainwashing from a very liberal university, and he thinks he's, like, way smart because of it, because he knows a couple of special words. Because, like, the reason why he, like, that makes him extra, like, feel extra special is because all through high school and, like, ever since I've ever known him, I just happen to have a very extensive vocabulary, and so a lot of times when I'm just naturally engaging with people, then I'm just like, ah, fuck. They're like, what? I'm like, oh, step back, and then I've got to, like, define words and shit, like, make myself sound dumber, and, like, use, like, less accurate words, so that people can understand what the fuck I'm saying. And so he went to college. Like, I don't think I had that drastic of an impact on him, but my influence plus other influence, hopefully, like, he went to college, and now that he knows a couple of bigger words, he's like, ooh, PJ, I know the special boy words, now I can talk to you, and we can be intellectual equals. I was like, no, dude, that's not how that works. And I haven't told him just, like, straight up blatantly, like, no, it's not how that works, because I don't want to break his heart. But it's really funny to engage with him, because a lot of times that's how he thinks it does. DK Bear, Donkey Kong, thank you. My brother used to tell me black friends nigger joke, and they would be, yeah, black people find nigger jokes hilarious, except for the college-educated, self-privileged rights people. Ooh, also, another funny, I just remembered this. So, today, after I was volunteering for the Arizona Republican Party, just, like, door-knocking shit, like, nothing crazy. The, like, boss man, or alleged boss, the so-called boss man, he bought us some Panda Express for lunch. And so I went in there, and, like, the lady immediately started freaking out, like, no mask. And I was like, it's okay. I just started smiling, and I just showed her my mask exemption card, and she just freaked the fuck out. And so then she was like, oh, we can like give you the order, like take your order outside. And I was like, dude, I haven't been to Panda Express in years. I don't even know what the hell's on your menu. And so I was just, like, really calm, but, like, also very blunt. And so eventually they just, like, stopped talking, and they just let us hang out, even though I had no mask, and, like, make my order and shit. And the thing that I'm really kicking myself in the shin for is after I made my order, I just immediately started walking out because that was what they requested. And part of me justifies this as, alright, this Justin, my alleged boss dude, blah, 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 like, he is, like, a political figure. I don't want to embarrass the Republican Party, lose votes for Trump, like, all the fucking bullshit, nonsense, narrative lies. And, like, I didn't realize it till right after I walked out the door, and then things started clicking, and I was like, ah, fuck, what have I just done? Literally, by just walking out of a door, like, and I'm kicking myself in the shin even right now. But the funny thing about this story is God is hilarious. And so it turns out that literally the very next patron of this establishment who walked in was a very stereotypical, like, 7-inch fake fingernails, overweight bike thief. Female, obviously. And apparently, Justin, my so-called alleged boss, he witnessed this individual I just described verbally harass the Panda Express staff to a degree that is just beyond humiliating. And like it was a good like 15-minute story. And so like this whole time I'm just like in the sun, just like, fuck, why did I walk out? Fuck me, I was just a bitch. Like, I could have done better. And then turns out like the reason why it took so long for him to get the food was because this female bike thief was like immediately exacting karmic retribution on the Panda Express staff for kicking me out. Not kicking me out, for making it uncomfortable and giving me an opportunity to be a bitch, which I took, and I'm still ashamed for taking. That being said, I still found it amusing. And then shortly thereafter, we arrived back at the office, and as we were eating this Panda Express, I only ate like just a tiny portion, and it felt like it made me nauseous. I was like, I can't do this no more. So I was like, hey, alleged boss, so-called man, dude, whatever, I'm gonna go back to my apartment and stop doing this. And he's like, okay. And here I am. Does anyone else have any fun stories? Does anyone want to jump on the stream? Well, what's going on, everybody? I'm grabbling for stories right now. No, that's not really grabbling. I'm not tricking. I'm asking in an honest fortune. Oh, dude, Warbear. I haven't eaten a fortune cookie in years. So even before I learned the company Simonex poisoning like Doritos and Pepsis and shit like that with like literal baby fetal cells, even before I learned that, I was like, I'm not so much a big fan of fortune cookies. Like, they don't even taste that good, and the fortunes are always fucking stupid. Like, what do all the numbers mean? Come on, buddy. So I've just, like, never really enjoyed fortune cookies. Or not never, but for a while, I haven't enjoyed fortune cookies. So I have no idea what said fortune cookie said, because I left them unbroken on the table. I wonder if there's a spell there. Breaking the fortune cookie. I think there's something there, but I have no idea how to even begin researching that. Because that's like eclectic beyond like absurdity. But it's also like really deep gravy. Ooh, I know what I can search. Ha ha! High processing speed. I'm being so ridiculous right now, but I'm kind of being like extra ridiculous to entertain the people until someone else gets on and we can have a genuine conversation. Fortune cookies, what was I just thinking about? Ooh! Interesting. I'm waiting for you guys to comment as I'm diving down this rabbit hole. No one cares about Mexican Chinese cookies. Stop it. Ooh. Interesting. But not what I'm looking for. Stop giving me boring things to learn about. Ooh, Warbear, good call. Warbear says, I feel like the whole story could have just been a lead up to the punchline, which was the fortune cookie. Yes. If I was a comedian or like a good storyteller, I would have planned that. But you know I'm not. I was just being honest, and I don't eat fortune cookies. Which has led us down this rabbit hole, and fill you guys in on what I'm doing right now, is, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Courage Berry, yes. Turns out there's a specific difference between Japanese JapJap bear and Chinese fortune cookies. The Japanese version obviously doesn't have the Chinese like special boy numbers and shit. But the what I'm seeing as of thus far is that the Japanese fortune cookies only go back to the mid to late 1800s. I've yet to find a source that describes the origins of the Chinese fortune cookie, but I would be willing to guess it's a little bit longer, given that, like, you know, in the mid to late 1800s, that's when a lot of cultural exchanges were going on in the what was the dynasty called? The Meiji period in 1800 Japan. The Meiji referring to the dynasty of emperors, but to be fair, the emperors were just emperors in name only because the shogun held all the actual military power. But I'm done spouting about nerd knowledge on ancient fucking Japanese history. It is we accidentally got there through the fortune cookie route. And that's on you guys. I wasn't even going to say shit about the fortune cookie. You guys brought that shit up. But I found it interesting that even though I didn't eat that much Panda Express, I still felt like really nauseous. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. So yeah, look at that. I just had a really basic day, and I was able to find a couple of fun, good stories out of it. I cannot be the only person that has fun, little entertaining stories throughout their day. Or does anyone else have like some cool gravy or like potential gravy for us to like simmer, or like interesting topic to discuss? Like, come on guys, someone get the fuck on. Yeah, I've been talking for for 38 minutes. That's kind of absurd. Wardbear says there's more gravy in Antarctica about the pyramids, etc. Oh yeah, Courage Bear. Warbear's on point with that. Like, with respect to Antarctica, the pyramids, the castles, the various other fortifications, tons of gravy there. Not to mention the new Schwabenland gravy, the various other modern day scientific outpost gravy that we've got going on in Antarctica. But my favorite gravy with respect to Antarctica is the Russian scientist story, where apparently there's a bunch of Russian scientists, there were 6 Russian scientists that went into this, they found this underwater lake, and they're like, whoa, like, look at all these like microscopic organisms. We haven't seen this for 10 billion years because this is isolated since evolution. But they're like, let's explore. And as the story goes, these 6 Russian scientists like get like diving suits magically and dive into this lake in Antarctica, and apparently all like 5 of them die and get ripped apart by this like this octopus / squid / like Godzilla kind of thing in this underwater lake in the middle of Antarctica. Kind of sounds like bullshit. Also, it's very entertaining. I don't know what to believe because, you know, Antarctica. It's one of the many things I enjoy about the Bears is so many of us enjoy collecting various ladles of gravy, and then we just share the gravy with each other. And for example, that Russian scientist Antarctica thing. NWA Bear, see you soon. You shall be missed. I don't know if the Russian scientist actually did that. Just like if I don't know that the, what's that borehole? The something borehole. Karelia borehole over in Siberia, where other Russian scientists claim to have dug a hole so deep that they literally, found a cavern where they, according to YouTube, they heard the, screams of hell and shit, and it sounded scary. I listened to it, just for a couple of minutes. And I don't know if they did that. But if they did, it sounds cool. We don't know. We weren't there. And the Bears are so like that, where it's we're always looking into all these cool sources of gravy, and when push comes to shove, it's alright, here are the things that I can prove, here's my evidence. And then if the evidence is insufficient, then other Bears correct them, and we all come to, gravy osmosis. But at the same time, there's tons of other, ladles that we have and share, where we can't prove it one way or the other, but it's interesting nonetheless. So just like with the Karelia borehole in Russia, where apparently they heard the screams of hell because they dug so deep, or the Russian scientists in fucking Antarctica, where apparently they got ripped to shreds by some monster thing that's never been discovered before for hundreds of millions of years because evolution. I don't fucking know, but it sounds cool. And it goes even more based, the whole concept that everything's fractal, or every principle is fractal, I find continually interesting. Because, I was disinvited to a family housewarming party, my husband's man cousin and his young fiance that I thought I was cool with didn't want me to go because of her liberal friends. Aw, dude, Donkey Kong Bear, don't even worry about that. I get that all the time. One of the dudes I buy pop from, he really wants to introduce me to a bunch of his friends, but he's like, dude, I don't want you to accidentally trigger my friends and for me to lose friends because, you have a crazy amount of evidence for everything you say, even though it sounds crazy. I'm like, yeah, dude, I get it. And so I made the joke, dude, I get it. I'm on friend probation. No pressure. Courage Bear. Allegedly, the asteroid to come into the contact with the Earth the day before the election will create a super asteroid event. Thoughts? Huh. Well, initial thoughts, sounds like a super interesting, fun story to look into that I have not heard about. But secondary thoughts, considering, the whole firmament of the Earth, I question the existence of asteroids. That being said, still a very fun story that I want to hear more about, Courage Bear. If you want to DM me the article for that, I think that'd be a fun read. I ordered a special inscribed present with their names on it and went anyways, and I was the star of the party and received an apology and a thank you in the mail. But there you go, Donkey Kong Bear. Good for fucking you, dude. Or dudette. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, but I still love your name, Donkey Kong Bear. And fucking congrats on that shit. That's awesome. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking into. Fortune cookies. Totally forgot about that. Ooh. Alright, dope. I appreciate that, Courage Bear, for sure. Salute to your retired husband's service, Donkey Kong Bear. Nice, you prayed before you went. Always a good call. One of my favorite books in the Bible is the book of Nehemiah, because Nehemiah is presented with so many specific and unique challenges throughout those 4 chapters. And every single time, whenever a difficulty or challenge is presented to Nehemiah, like his first response, reaction, like whatever, is pray. He just prays to the Lord our God. And then Nehemiah, like the Lord, more specifically, the Lord does great things through Nehemiah. And it's just a whole dope storyline. But yeah, like, Donkey Kong Bear, I'm so glad you prayed, and like, yet again, respect to your husband's service. For sure. NWA is back. I was at a bar making fun of the Aunt Jemima thing, and my liberal buddy started hitting my arm saying, "There's a black girl right there you're offending." I started yelling, "You're a faggot," until he left the bar. That's brilliant, but probably not the best friend move, bro. Like, that sounds like a more mild version of what I did to my friends when I learned that most people are retards. I would not suggest that you repeat my actions. I burned a lot of bridges. Donkey Kong, exactly. Ask and you shall receive. And the Lord... Oh my goodness! That was... I don't even know how that happened. So I've got this little device, a charging device, and it's connected to my phone. And then apparently somehow it magically fell, which dragged my phone along with it. Thus my surprise reaction. Trisha, welcome, welcome. Nice! That sounds brilliant, Master Sergeant. Legit. Now who's Warbear was saying I don't have any liberal friends. Wise decision, kind sir. Kind of blanking right now. Don't know why. This happens from time to time. I'm sure you guys have also experienced similar things where you just kind of, oh, what was I thinking of? And like your whole mind is entirely blank. Or you just kind of, walk into a room and you're like, I know I just was trying to come into this room to find something, but I have no idea what I was just trying to do. Yes, the liberals come sometimes with family, which is tough. Yeah, Donkey Kong, exactly. But that's where, like, loving your neighbor as yourself is really important there. And looking back, I could have done a much better job at that. Which is why I encourage you guys to, be more loving to your neighbor. A Courage Bear, I have no idea where Trina is. Haven't seen him log on yet. Like, for example, one of my many failures is my dad is a conservative Republican. Nice! Congrats, NWA Bear! Fight the man! Homestead power! I didn't really know where to go with that. Because my first joke was black power, and then I was like, that doesn't work. But, like, sad story, or not sad, but just kind of like lesson to learn from my own failure is my dad, I don't speak to him anymore, and he doesn't want to ever speak to me, because the last time we spoke is I was making some factual generalized statements about bike thieves, and like SJW screenshotted all my shit, and I went viral, which was surprisingly terrifying. And like almost everyone I knew got like doxxed, and like it was a whole insane thing. And so when my dad was exposed to that, he immediately took the side of SJWs without even asking like any of my perspective, and like because that had happened after many years of just like rocky like relationship shit. I was like, he attacked me. He was like, fucking how dare you, blah blah, and land down under barrel, welcome. And so my failure in that conversation was I just got so frustrated with his just boomer retard like how dare you just bullshit, plus like all the other relationship like rockiness that had been built up over the years. My failure was I didn't forgive him 7 times 77 times per day. I'm doing well, land down under barrel. How are you doing, brother man? And so I basically was like, fuck you, never contact me again. And what I find really interesting about that is like my immediate, like my mom, my sister, and like the family members that I'm close with, they're aware of this and they actually agree with me, but I disagree with them agreeing with me. I still think I did the things wrong. And my sister's wedding was just this past weekend, and obviously my father was there, and I just had like natural knee-jerk reaction. I was like, oh hey, like just kind of like as just passing by, like because like the big crowd wedding, super chaotic, like blah blah. You guys get it. And yeah, he made it more of a point than I did to like ignore my existence, and that's when I knew I fucked up. So even though I disagree with him in so many ways, and like I guess my reaction was I feel that the majority of my action was justified, and like my self-defense was justified. It's just I went too far when I dishonored him by cursing at him and by requesting to never speak to me again. Like that's where I went too far. Because let's say hypothetically I hadn't said that, or he forgave me of that, or we were on talking levels, whatever. Due to his dishonorable nature and just lifestyles in general, I still wouldn't want him to expose that behavior towards my hypothetical children. And I guess that's kind of where the crux of things kind of went, why I was so extreme. And like, good initiative, bad judgment is what I was always told as a Marine, or what I then told my junior Marines, when it's like, alright, you had a great idea, but then you carried out that idea in the worst possible way. So the nice way to say that is good initiative, bad judgment. Where I had the right idea, good initiative, one day I hope that God blesses me with a wife and children. And when that happens, one day hopefully if the Lord blesses me with that, then I want to be a good steward of said children, and you're kind of a douche. So I don't want you around my kids. Hypothetically, like if God blesses me with that. Good initiative, bad judgment. I burned a bridge of a family member because of some hypothetical desire to protect a blessing of God that he has yet to give me. Retard. It happens to the best of us, and to the worst of us, and to everyone in between. It is what it is, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Time and knowledge heals. We've all had bad judgment, at least you acknowledge it, which says you're a kind soul. Donkey Kong, I appreciate that. Yeah, I just try and be honest at all times, and like there's like, I'm sure people have seen me multiple times on the stream, like especially when Trina Bear is on the stream, is Trina Bear will say something, and then I'll, like my knee-jerk reaction is to like bruh on whatever, but Trina Bear knows me, and so in these moments he specifically words things very specifically, so that as I'm responding, I'm like at first I'm like, oh no, I completely disagree, and here's why, blah blah blah. But the way that he specifically worded it, in my explanation of why he's wrong, I prove myself wrong, and thus prove him right. He does it all the time. It's fucking genius. I find it hilarious. Because, like, I never expect it. Me too, JapJap. If not, it's okay, man. The good Lord has other needs for some of us warriors. Exactly, Courage Bear. Exactly. Like, one of the recent Owen streams, he was talking about, it was a bear from Florida who was talking about how his older son felt bad about not being as funny as the middle son or the younger son. And Owen just did a whole thing about like everyone's got their own unique talents. And warriors have their own special place in society. It just turns out we lived in cucked first world problem America right now. So warriors have to learn to fight in unique ways and like multitask, like be crushers in whatever our specific industry that we, because like even in the olden times, warriors didn't just fucking fight. They were also farmers and blacksmiths and carpenters and boat makers and fucking everything else. So there's literally nothing new under the sun. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, guys. Just because we live in this crazy 21st century doesn't mean that warriors don't also have other skills. And I'm learning that firsthand because, warrior. Thoughts? What's going on, everyone? I've literally been talking for 57 minutes. It makes me feel uncomfortable when I talk for this long. Like, I know I say this all the time, but I really fucking mean it. And I mean, to be fair, one time in Marines, LOL. Yes, Courage Bear. Like, right now we've only got 2.5 minutes left. But, like, for the second hour, one of you assholes better fucking log on and, like, talk to me and shit. Because I feel like an arrogant douchebag when I just speak for great lengths of time. I wonder if there's programming in there somehow. I don't know. Yeah, Warbear, like, half the crew's gone right now, which is kind of a bummer. Learning to walk in kindness and patience takes great courage to pick our battles, because when we choose to be calm, it throws people off, but it is more powerful. Donkey Kong Bear. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm going to read that one more time, guys. Learning to walk in kindness and patience takes great courage to pick our battles, because when we choose to be calm, it throws people off, but it is more powerful. I wholeheartedly agree. Yep, Courage Bear is like, amen. Because as powerful as emotions are, if we allow emotions to just rage uncontrolled, almost always there's a negative effect. And of course, now we've got less than a minute. Before I go more on that, let's let Instagram grabble me and limit this stream. Like, yeah. I'll be back in 30 seconds, guys. I wish Instagram let me stream for longer, but it doesn't. Either way, I'll be right back. That was the end of this episode. I shall see you soon. No, not the end of this episode. The end of this portion of the episode.